Phones down, glasses up. Episode 13. Boy, that show opener looks really old now that it's all like shorts and windy, beautiful
We
sunshine.
can just remember happier days when it was sunny and you weren't freezing out. But you know what? 13's my lucky number. I'm happy that it's the 13th episode and we have a ton of things to talk about. I actually feel lucky that I missed the big snow apocalypse because I had to get to Surrey and back, and then I watched the snow falling from my condo and I did not see this. I mean, check out the video that people were sending.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was a nightmare on the roads, right?
Am I right? Born and raised Vancouverite, I can tell you that every time the snow falls here, this happens. Because this happens, there are drivers who are out on tires that have no business being on the roads, and this city, in particular, Metro Vancouver, is not prepared for snow events like this without, I mean, Linda, we have to be really sending the props out to the forecasters out there who did it almost to the second.
Like, they have to.
We knew this was coming, guys. The fact that there were some people that were stuck for like 10, 12, 13 hours on the S curve.
They were stuck long enough they could have driven to Calgary. I mean, that's how nutty it was. The city did have a news conference. They said all the plows were out. That wasn't the problem. The problem was congestion.
Yeah,
so,
stay home.
Yeah.
It's going to snow again. If you're watching this in the first turn, because we repeat on Sundays, but it's supposed to get very wintry again.
You've been warned.
Just stay home. Just stay home and laugh along with the Snowmageddon.
You don't get to watch soccer. Well, I mean, I guess you can, but Canada, oh, sad. However, there was this big controversy about the fact that it was in Qatar and that they're not super friendly to the LGBTQ community, and they weren't allowed to wear those armbands.
Didn't the Handsome Brad do an amazing job on the show last week? Like, I felt that.
And there was a fan that sort of made the headlines for showing up in a whole bunch of different ways. Look at this. The fan had the rainbow flag. They were supporting Ukraine, supporting Iranian women.
Yeah.
Way to go. So it's too bad. Someone said, you know, maybe the Canadian team should have actually worn the armband, since what did it matter? They're going to be out anyway.
And they did. They are actually the only team other than the host country in Qatar that didn't win any of their games leading up.
Next time.
It's a learning curve, and we will continue to watch the World Cup because you want to support the athletes. But I would love to see any squad from anywhere just take that yellow card and make a statement.
Up. The world would be going,
maybe someone will save it till the finals. I mean, maybe there's still time.
I doubt it. However, when you talk about support, there's a lot of people who are not showing a ton of support to the Canadian band Arcade Fire. Look at a tweet. They were here in
see what I did there?
Friday, on Friday.
Snuffed.
As opposed to snubbed?
Snubbed, girl.
Now, the reason why is because the frontman, Win Butler, has been accused of sexual impropriety with several women. So they're on a tour, and when they were here in Vancouver on Friday, people were literally giving the tickets away, saying, I'm not interested. And they were mad that they couldn't get a refund.
Yeah, they should have gotten a refund.
I think they should have, too. There has to be some mechanism.
I agree with you 100% on that. And this is... It's a really awful story, and we don't have time to get into the details of that. But where there's smoke, there's fire. I did it again. But come on, if somebody is accused in this way, and you would like a return for your investment in your entertainment dollar, that is again a Ticketmaster, Live Nation, wherever the service provider is, the venue at play. If somebody wants their money back, give them their money back.
Yeah, well, and again, that's probably not going to happen either, even though it should. And maybe all you rock stars out there, stop being idiots. This whole Me Too movement's been going on for years. The message is it's not okay to be abusing women sexually. It's just not. You're going to pay for it.
I got one more thing that's not okay.
Okay.
Gaslighting.
Oh, yeah. I love that word, right? And it has come into the lexicon this year in particular.
Word of the year.
Check this out.
Look.
Merriam-Webster, it's the word of the year. I think we've all experienced gaslighting to some degree.
No question.
Yeah, I believe that the former U.S. President Donald Trump is the king of
gaslighting. Origin story, like when this came out, it does go back to a play, a Broadway play and a movie called Gaslighting, all about a husband that was really making his wife crazy by telling her that what she was witnessing and seeing was actually not true.
There's nothing worse than when someone's trying to tell you something, you're like, no, that's not my reality. That didn't happen. That's gaslighting. We should also talk about a couple of big things happening in Vancouver. And one of them is the huge debate over whether there should be police in schools, school liaison officers. They were there, they took them away, and now the Vancouver School Board has just decided they're going to bring them back. And it was a tight vote. I believe it was 5-4. But the school liaison officers will be back in 13 Vancouver school districts by next September. How do you feel about that?
I feel very good about this as a mother. I feel very good about this. I also do that with a caveat for those who are uncomfortable with school liaison officers. I hear that. I know that. I understand that. My dad was the head of the PE department at Britannia High School on the downtown east side, a very diverse student body there. My cousin Cindy, who joined us here, Sergeant Cindy Vance, joined us here on the program, was a school liaison officer at my dad's school after he retired. And I have had numerous people tell me because of Dad, because they knew about Mr. Vance, they either know me from TV or radio or know me through my dad. It's wild how many lives he's touched. And Cindy's same. People will talk to me about how she saved my life because she corrected my behavior in a moment where I could have gone down a really bad path and I didn't. And I think in this moment that we find ourselves right here where there is this feeling of sort of untouchable young people acting out in ways that are they would regret once their fully formed brains are activated. I think school liaison officers, maybe not in full uniform, maybe there are more people of color, more representation for those who might feel uncomfortable.
You're never going to get 100% consensus on this.
Majority of people want it.
So there you go. It's a vote. We'll see how it goes. One of the things I'm personally more concerned about as a taxpayer is the fact that we're looking at another pretty hefty property tax hike in Vancouver again.
I'm just in denial, Linda.
Well, 5%, they're saying it could be that. We're proposing that, but it could go up to 7% because remember we said we're going to hire a whole bunch more VPD and a whole bunch more nurses. And
firefighters want more.
5%, no, too high because it's 5%, 5%. It's always, every year it's never 2, it's never 3, it's always 5 or it's 7.
How does Brad West and Poco not raise taxes?
Well, because they don't have as many issues as we have.
Well,
However,
maybe we should have fewer
moving
pet
to
projects,
Poco.
right? Brad West, come back. Tell us how you do it. But honestly, like there's so many pet projects. I would like to get down to zero and build from there. And the good news on the City of Vancouver budget that we're hearing with the first council tabling of this is that this council plans to wait until the new year. The numbers that are in now are still the lame duck ones from the council before. And Ken Sim, Mayor Ken Sim, is a chartered accountant where he might struggle with the politics of the office. He will not be struggling, I don't think, with the balance sheet, I hope.
We want to very quickly tell you about some of the things that are coming up on the show. One of them, we're talking about medical assistance in dying. There's a very interesting new ad out that we're going to talk about. Also some pushback because next spring they're going to allow people with mental health issues to access MAID. So that's coming up. But we're also talking about the catch and release system of prolific offenders.
Wendy Stevens is
Senior Crown Prosecutor.
Senior Crown Prosecutor who brings us the details behind what we've all found so very frustrating with the rotating door that seems to be that of the prolific offender.
And in fact, the new premier has just issued a directive to the prosecution service. I think we have a graphic of this, essentially saying that this is now what you have to do when it comes to repeat offenders, violent repeat offenders. And you know what? I think we're about to find out that it doesn't really change diddly squat.
Yeah, we're going to find that out. And Rachel Dory, the now ex-assistant, Vancouver Canucks video coach, very publicly put out her reasons behind her exit. Dawn Taylor from Dawn and Dolly the Team will be on this set with us to talk through this controversy with the Canucks.
We're also talking about trolling, online trolling. This has become a really big problem, especially for female journalists. We know all about this. And there is some new information out now that shows that, in fact, globally, female journalists in Canada are trolled more than anywhere else in the world.
Look at the numbers here.
I know.
Linda, we got to get into that. We got a jam show is what I'm telling you right here.
We do. But still had pushback to changes around Canada's medical assistance in dying legislation. And a Canadian clothing company's new ad about MAID, you got to see this. It has people talking. We're going to have a very difficult conversation about that next.